Police in Chile say they have arrested Joran van der Sloot, the main suspect in the death of a Peruvian woman in Lima. He previously was considered a suspect in the 2005 disappearance of American teenager Natalee Holloway in Aruba. Officials in Peru say they'll extradite van der Sloot to face charges.
We're getting the first images from Santiago of Joran van der Sloot. He was arrested a short time ago in the Chilean capital. He's been the subject of a manhunt after a young woman was found slain in Lima, Peru hotel room this week. Peru says it's made arrangements to extradite him. The 22-year-old van der Sloot was previously a suspect in the 2005 disappearance of the US teenager Natalee Holloway. And those are short pictures that we have received at CNN. When there's more to bring you on that story, we will, of course, bring those more pictures to you.
The manhunt is over. Police in Chile capture murder suspect Joran van der Sloot. Hello and welcome to World One. I'm Rosemary Church. Well, officials in Peru are working to extradite murder suspect Joran van der Sloot from Chile. He was caught near the central coastal city of Viña del Mar earlier today after a four-nation manhunt in South America. Van der Sloot has long been suspected in the 2005 disappearance of American teenager Natalee Holloway in Aruba. A Peruvian woman was found stabbed to death yesterday in a Lima hotel room, 5 years to the day of Holloway's disappearance. Van der Sloot's former attorney says it's too early to draw any conclusions about the case in Peru. Rosemarie Arnold represented van der Sloot in a civil case, and earlier on IDESK, I spoke with Arnold, and she questioned the timeline surrounding the death of Stephanie Flores Ramirez. Listen.
This is a very eerie coincidence, if you want to call it that. And again, we're a little bit closer now to the wait-and-see point. We don't really know what's going on. We know that he's now been detained for questioning, and we're going to see what's going to happen.
So you use the word coincidence, an implication there that you don't think that he's involved in this murder, perhaps?
Well, I don't have thoughts on that at all. I didn't say that. I'm not here to defend his actions. What I'm saying is that right now we don't really know anything. We are hearing reports from the Peruvian officials that we have, unfortunately, a woman found slain in a hotel room that's registered in his name. We hear that she's been reported missing as of Sunday, and then we hear that she's not found until Wednesday. That leaves questions as to why it took 4 days for them to find her. Didn't anybody clean the hotel room? There are pieces missing from this puzzle, and we're going to see what's going to happen, but right now we can't pass judgment until we know the facts.
Yeah, and we appreciate there are pieces missing from this puzzle indeed, but we understand police there in Peru say that they have video showing the two together. This is before her death, clearly.
Absolutely.
So what do you make of that video? So obviously the two were together.
Absolutely. But then you take what happened after that. They're together, and then Joran apparently, or allegedly, as we hear, left. Then it apparently took him a day and a half to, what they're saying, flee the country. He could have just been leaving. And then another 2.5 days to find her. So if they're reporting her missing on Sunday, regardless of the fact that they're together, doesn't necessarily mean that the end result was because of him. Now, again, I'm not here defending him. I'm simply saying let's wait and see. We're going to be faced with forensic evidence in this case probably very shortly, and that's going to tell us really what happened.
Indeed, and I appreciate that, but in a situation like this, with the history that Joran van der Sloot has here and the fact that he fled, how do you explain that?
Well, we don't necessarily know that he fled. We know that he left the country. We don't know why he left the country. Look, I mean, it's certainly a strange coincidence. Like I said before, I'm not here to defend the coincidence. It's not looking good, but we just don't know right now.
All right, van der Sloot's former attorney talking to me there, Rosemarie Arnold, and I want to talk more about this with Rolando Santos. He is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of CNN Chile, and he joins me by phone from Santiago. If you could just bring us up to date on the information that you're getting there on the ground since the apprehension of van der Sloot.
Rosemary, the next 24 hours are going to be crucial for van der Sloot. There are basically three options here. He can either be freed under Chilean law, he can be expulsed from the country, that's sent out obviously, or he can be extradited. And now it becomes kind of a legal question as to what happens because of the way that the detention occurred. He's technically not in custody. He's being detained on a warrant from Interpol Peru, and the warrant is specific to locate and detain, but not take into custody. So now the process of what's going to happen to him is going on right now between the two governments. Now, he was detained earlier this morning coming back from Viña del Mar. Viña del Mar is a very famous resort city about an hour and a half from Santiago, and he apparently was in Viña del Mar yesterday, early this morning, and acting on information from sources, the PDI, which is a kind of a combination of the American FBI and Britain's Scotland Yard, intercepted him about midway between the two cities. He'd apparently been staying in Santiago. So once he was detained and taken to the headquarters of the PDI, they're now awaiting the circumstances to see what the next step is going to be. There was no incident. It went very smoothly, apparently. No resistance of any kind.
Yeah, and it's interesting looking at the footage there, that video of him since his apprehension. And as you say, technically not in custody. We can see his hair color has changed. What do we make of that?
Actually, the images are interesting. I obviously haven't seen anything of him since, well, I guess basically 5 years ago, other than the sketches and other things that have come out in the last couple of days. I mean, there's all kinds of inferences you can make, but obviously, as in the previous interview, you know, was he fleeing or did he simply leave the country? I mean, all those questions are still to be resolved, but the more important question for him is, how is Chile going to handle this? Are they going to free him? Because in this country, there is no detention warrant or arrest warrant for him. Are they going to simply exile him from the country or send them out of the country, and then to what country if they do that? And then the third, of course, is whether they simply extradite back to Peru.
All right. Rolando Santos, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. Interesting point there that technically van der Sloot is not in custody. So we'll see whether he gets extradited at this point or freed. We'll be watching Chile for that.